Well, peace and blessings, Mishpachah. We're back once again. Yes, this is midweek. Yes, it's a midweek gathering. Here we are. We're back once again, and we're going to be discussing the Second Commandment. Yes, this is how to Hebrew, and we're talking about how to Hebrew the Second Commandment. Want you to join us. We're going to have a wonderful time. I'm glad you're here.
See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
Well, peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Hey, we're right back. And you know what? Let's go ahead and let's magnify the Most High. This is what we do. You know, this is how we do. We worship Him. We honor Him. We are happy to be here because He is everything unto us. And so with that in mind, we want to make sure that we reverence Him. This has been a day for most of us, for many of us. It's been a day, right? But hey, guess what? You know what? We're here now. We can breathe deeply. And whatever has happened and earlier today, guess what? That's in the past, right? And so we learn from things, and then we just simply keep it moving. I'm just simply going to say that I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad that we are here. And you know what? We are here to magnify the Most High. Looking at just a couple of things here, trying to find, just a couple of things here. We want to make sure that we magnify the Lord. So let's do that. Most High, we thank you. We give you praise. We honor you. We bless you. We bless you. We honor you. Because there is none like you. Ein Elohim rachocha. Atayadashi enachnu havimocha v'kol halevim. There is no other Elohim but you, and you know that we love you with all of our hearts, and we honor you, Most High. We honor you. Slikalanu gamrahamlanu. Forgive us, and have mercy upon us. We are your children. We are your heritage, and we honor you. We delight in walking in the laws, statutes, and commandments that you have laid before us. And we are your people, the apple of your eye. We thank you for watching over us. We thank you that even though in this time, this is Jacob's trouble, but we thank you that out of it we are saved, we are delivered. We are delivered out of it. We thank you, O Most High. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. You know, there's a song I remember from back in the day. My brother from another mother wrote it. His name is Mark Parker, and it's entitled O Most High. And I meant to call him and ask him if he could send me a copy of that. But hey, I may do that. Hey, maybe next time we get together. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do for a praise? Real quick, real quick, real quick. In fact, you know what? Let me do this, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video.
All right, and we are back. We are back. We are back, and we're gonna open up the. We're gonna give some shout outs in just a minute, just a second, but let's just do this one, right? We're gonna magnify the Most High, and it's been a while since we did this favorite of mine, and this is Psalm 31. I know I've done this one a lot. This happens to be a favorite, and hey, all I can say is. I love it. Let's do it. Okay, now that is the wrong one. Oh, that was 31, 4 through 6. What in the world is that? Hold on. I have no idea. What is this? Oh no, we're not doing that. we're not gonna do that. Okay. Hey, let's just nod and say we did. How about that? Let's just nod and say that we did. And I'm not. I guess I'm not finding the one that I want. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna continue with our short little lesson on tonight. Let's do. Listen, you know that the call-in lines are open. Let me do this. Let's go here and let me check out what's happening here with the call-in lines. Let's see. Let me give some shout-outs to those of you that are here. Let's do this. Yes. My brother Roderick is here. Guess what? Yes. My day one, my brother Bergen Paris is here. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. He is the chief moderator. And my brother Roderick is here, as well as, let's see, let me scroll up. Hey, Damone King is here. Soprano Jesse is here. All right. Peace and blessings to my sister, my brother George Evans. I think I mentioned him. You know what? Let's get into the topic that we're talking about on today. We also want to honor the Most High by basically looking at the covenant. What is the covenant? Well, the covenant is the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments that we have looked at, we've read them. They've become common, just like normal to many people. But let me do this real quick. Okay? Let me go here and let me give you an understanding as to why we look at the Ten Commandments and why we deal with them as strongly as we do. Let's go here and let me show you this. In Deuteronomy 4 and 13, it reads that he, meaning the Most High, that he declared unto us his covenant, right? Unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even what? Even 10 commandments. So it lets you know that when it comes to the 10 commandments, they're not just 10 sayings. They're not just 10 declarations, but they are, as it is written here, they are a covenant. We know that we are in this particular position or I should say this predicament. We're in this predicament because we did not obey the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. Mainly, we broke his covenant. We broke his covenant. We refused to follow it. We wanted to be like others. We wanted to be like the other people of the world. So here we are. Now we are like the other people in the world, and we are suffering right along with them. But now is the time that we join ourselves together and we stand upon the covenant that we made, the agreement that we made with our Father, and we be who he has ordained us to be. That being the case, then we know that our situations would change drastically, as he will make us the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath. And I say it all the time. I will say it again. Guess what? We are not cursed any longer, right? We are not cursed anymore. And so we stand upon that. And we want to just spread that energy, spread that truth, spread that love, even spread that prophetic word that we are not cursed anymore. Well, in looking at the Ten Commandments, for those of you that would like some sort of recap, we mentioned many things that we're not going to go over right now, but just suffice it to say that we went over the first commandment, and all of the other commandments hinge upon the preceding commandments, okay? They hinge upon the preceding commandments. The reason why we have a commandment 2 is because we have a commandment number 1. In the first commandment, it simply said that you will not have any other Elohim beside me, instead of me, in place of me, so forth and so on. We went through that, right? We went into that, and we understood what the Most High was saying in Exodus, the 20th chapter, the 2nd and 3rd verse, where he was talking about don't have any other Elohim before me. Now, listen, some have said this. Well, see, what that means is you can go ahead and you can have other Elohim, you just put him first. Well, you have to understand that that did not go too well for our forefathers, okay? If you look, I believe it's Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, he said, you know what, look at what else they're doing. And in fact, let me go here real quick, because this is in line with what it is that we're going to talk about here. In Ezekiel, I want to say that it's the 25th chapter, okay, and, well, you know what, it may not be. I may have to find it. That's okay. Okay, it is not there. Hold on, it's not where I thought it was. Let me look for it here, because I was. It could be. Let's see. Give me just a second here. I want to show you this. Okay. All right. So we're gonna yeah. Here we go. Ezekiel 8. Okay. I want you to notice this here. If it was true that the Most High meant, you know what, you can have other Elohim, but just have me in front, well, then this would not be the case where we would be writing this. Notice what is written here. Then said he unto me, Son of man, have you seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chamber of his imagery or idols? For they say, Yah doesn't see us. Yahweh does not see us, right? He has forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and see even greater abominations. Now, for those of you that think that all sins are equal, those of you that think that there is no hierarchy of sin, that is not true. Notice these are abominations and greater abominations. Notice what he says here in verse number 14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yah's house, the house of our Elohim, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz, one of the first dying and rising, quote-unquote, saviors of the pagan world. Well, the dying and rising savior is a pagan motif, and here we see it in Tammuz. Then he said, hey, basically, look at what they're doing in the inner court, right? And he says, basically, I don't like it, and I'm going to judge them for it, right? So if it was true that the Most High meant, well, you can have other Elohim, just, put me ahead of them, then, of course, we would not have many of the judgments that have come down against us and against other people that are in the scriptures, because the Most High said, no, you will have no other Elohim before me. In other words, you will have no other Elohim instead of me, in my place, even representing me. You will have no other Elohim. It's me and me alone, okay? And so with that being the case, we know that that is the first commandment. Well, what about the second commandment? Let's go there. The second commandment comes to us from Exodus, and we're going to look at 20 verses 4. We're going to look at 20 verses 4 through 6. All right. And here we go. We're going in. Now, I'm going to warn you, at face value, this is going to seem like, man, this is one of those laws that does not have anything to do with me. I ain't got to worry about this one. I got this one covered. Well, hold the phone. You just may want to think about that again, okay? Notice what it reads here in verse 4 through verse 6. You shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth, in other words, the seas, right? Verse 5. You shall not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. Now, this is the operative clause right here. You shall not bow down to them, and you shall not serve them, okay? The Most High is not against art. The Most High is not against art. He is not against sculpting, even things that, things that might be seen. The only thing is, you are not to bow down to them and to worship them, okay? That is what he does not want. If you take a look here, and if we keep reading, notice what it reads. You shall not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh Eloheka, am a jealous Elohim. I am very passionate. I'm very energetic and very passionate, and I will repay those that hate me to their face. I don't play. I will deal with you in the dealing way. I'm very passionate about what I do, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me. By the way, he keeps a record of those that hate him, and he will repay them to their face. But he also says, showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and that keep my commandments. If you love him and keep his commandments, then of course you can expect mercy. But if you defy him, then of course you can expect to be dealt with even to your own face. Now, let's take a look at this and let's deal with this, because here is basically this is a law saying, hey, I don't want you to engrave any image, right? I don't want you to engrave any image or the likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You should not bow down to them nor serve them. Okay? Now, for those of you that think that the Most High is against all artwork, he is not against artwork. He is not against sculpting. He is not against any such thing. How can we prove this? Well, let's even do this. Let's go to Hosea 3, and let's go to verse number. Well, you know what? Let me read this, and then I'm gonna bring it out here. Okay, and we're gonna see exactly what's going on here. Notice what it reads in verse number 4. It says, "For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king and without a prince, and without a sacrifice," right? "And without an image." What? So what kind of images were these? What kind of images were these? And it says, "And without an ephod, and without a teraphim." What is a teraphim? What are these things? "Afterward shall the children of Israel return, and seek Yahweh, their Elohim, and Dawid Hamelech to be their king, and they shall fear Yahweh and his goodness in the latter days." Okay, so this is a latter day prophecy, we understand. But notice what we glean out of this. That apparently there were some images, okay, and there were teraphim that apparently were a part of the lives of the children of Israel. Okay? What in the world is this, and where did it come from? What are these things, right? So, let me give you some clarity. I'm going to give you some clarity. You notice here, and by the way, I know I need to tiptoe back into the chat room and see if we have any questions, but let's just go here for a second. I want you to look at this, because the beginning of chapter 3 of Hosea is most important. Then you can see what's going on. Then said Yahweh unto me, Go yet, and love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress. To put it plainly and to put it in the modern day vernacular, the prophet was commanded to marry a street woman, okay, a prostitute. Put plainly, a hoe, right? This is what we this is what we say, hey, she's a hoe, he's a hoe. Well, yeah, the prophet was commanded to marry a hoe. And notice what it reads here. According to the love of Yahweh toward the children of Israel, who look to other Elohim. There it is. Once again, you have a direct connection between the commandments of the Most High in the covenant to what is being said here. They are looking to other Elohim, which he said, this is a great abomination, this is a sin, so forth and so on. And notice what it reads. It says, hey, I want you to go and marry a hoe, okay? And what you're going to do is, like I've caused many prophets to do, I've caused them to demonstrate in front of the children of Israel what they were doing, because they weren't getting the message. Okay? This is what the Most High did. This is what the Most High commanded. He commanded Ezekiel. He commanded Isaiah. He commanded Hosea. He commanded them to do things that would demonstrate the present condition of Israel and basically their actions and how he felt about it. Listen to me, please, when I say this. What many of us miss and what many of us do not understand is that we're more in tune with our own mind, our own hearts, and no one seems to care, no one seems to touch the heart of the Most High. He said in Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter, he says, you know what, I'm going to raise you up a prophet. I'm going to raise you up a prophet. And this prophet is going to be like unto you. Now, I know many people say, well, yeah, that's JC, but no, it's not. What do you mean it's not? Well, it can't be, because JC was not like, Yeshua ben Yosef was not like his brethren. You can't be virgin born and be like and be of your brethren. You can't be virgin born and be like everyone else. The fallacy that the Catholic Church interjected into their particular pagan belief system, which, by the way, it fits the motif of all their pagan gods like Hercules and Mithras and so forth and so on, but it does not fit the Elohim of Israel. Okay? But yet and still, that motif does fit. There's no way that Yeshua ben Yosef or JC could be of his brethren and like his brethren if he is virgin born. Okay? And so in this, basically, Roman Catholicism has painted itself back into a corner, because now if you say, well, that prophecy is concerning him, he is like his brothers, then you have to back up off of the virgin birth, and you have to say, well, maybe he wasn't born like a virgin, maybe he was like all the rest of us, like Mark and Luke seem to have thought. They didn't have an account of the virgin birth story, right? I mean, John does not have it, and also Mark does not have it. Well, when you take a look, right? When you take a look at it, long story short, there's no way that you can have the virgin birth and Yeshua ben Yosef be like his brethren. So we know that that's not talking about him. However, it does say, you know what, I'm going to give you a prophet. And this prophet, he's going to be attentive to what is in my heart and what is in my mind. Imagine, if you will, the ability to actually touch and connect with the heart and the mind of the Most High, who is the infinite and the everlasting and the self-existent one. Imagine being able to connect. Imagine being connected to him, and imagine being able to flow with him, together with him, with what he desires, what he wants in his heart, in his mind. That is the goal of my life. Okay? That is the very goal of my life. Well, let's just kind of go back here and let's take a look. He says, I want you to demonstrate this because guess what? Israel is not getting it. They're not seeing what I'm saying. They're not seeing what's in my mind. They're not getting what's in my heart. So I need you to demonstrate this for me. And I want you to see here that the prophet said, so I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver. Okay? And for an homer of barley and an half a homer of barley. Basically, he paid her a bride price, right? And I said unto her, notice, this is a very important verse of scripture here that many people lose out on. They miss this, and they miss the context of what comes afterwards. And I said unto her, you shall abide many days. I said unto her, who? I said unto the harlot. I said unto the whole that I married. Yep, I said to her, you shall abide many days, for me many days, and you shall not play the harlot, and you shall not be for any other man, so will I also be for you. Right? So will I also be for thee. So notice here in this particular verse of scripture, the harlot is typified by Israel, and Israel is exampled in the harlot. Okay? And so he says, you know what? You are going to abide many days. See that? And what does that sound like? You're going to abide many days, and you're not going to play the harlot, right? And you shall not be for any other man. Now, look at verse number 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king. Notice the correlation. Notice the correlation between those two. Many people are very familiar with, for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. Many of us, we're familiar with this passage of scripture, but we don't know that the foundation of this lies in the harlot and the whole herself, who the prophet says, hey, you're going to stop everything that you're doing. Okay? You're going to be stripped of everything. Okay? You're going to be stripped of everything, and this is how you're going to be dealt with in order for you to stop being a spiritual whore. Just giving it to any and every deity, giving Buddha a little bit, giving him your heart, giving a little bit to Confucius, giving a little bit to this, a little bit to that. Just a spiritual whole. Just give your heart to anything and anyone, right? But that is the purpose mindset of today. That is what's being fed in the media. That's what's being fed and over the popular social media streams. That's what's being fed. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of it's okay. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And no one seems to have an anchor and say, you know what, this is where I'm going to be. I'm not all over the place. This is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to be focused, right? Think about this for a second. We don't do that with food, right? We don't do that with food. We don't take our pizza and say, oh, man, with our pizza, I'm just going to go ahead, man, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this dressing and cranberry sauce. Yep, and I'm going to put that on my pizza, and oh man, and then I'm going to turn around and, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Go ahead and put some dressing and cranberry sauce on that pizza. Go ahead and put some potato salad and some greens and cornbread on that pizza. Go ahead. Just a little bit of this and just a little bit of that. Right? We don't do that when it comes to food. We don't do that when it comes to dressing, like putting our clothes on. We don't say, well, you know what? I've got on this red shirt, but guess what? Let me go ahead and just let me do some pink polka dots and some green stripes And oh, let me go ahead and do some purple sneakers. We don't do that when it comes to dressing. We don't do that when it comes to food. We don't do that when it comes to any other thing, except in the area where we should be and need to be more focused. And that's the area of our spirit. That's the area of our mind and our intellect. So why do we allow that? Huh? Why do we allow that? As I said before, that's the mindset that's being fostered or nurtured nowadays, that you add a little bit of this, add a little bit of that, right? So we see here that images then were in vogue back in the day because they were a part of the mess that the children of Israel was in, okay? The image, they had an image, right? They also had a teraphim. These two things are associated with images. They are associated even with idols and idolatry. So it wasn't that the Most High was promoting idolatry. No, he was not. He was simply saying, you know what? You are a mess. You're a hole. You're a spiritual hole up here. I'm going to stop you from doing everything, right? So, like you, the children of Israel, hey, I'm going to take everything away from them. I'm going to take absolutely everything away from them. The sacrifice, the ephod, and all their images, everything. I'm going to clean them out. I'm going to clean house, right? And we're going to get them straight. But for right now, hey, nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. And this is basically what Hosea told his whorish wife up here in verse number 3. You ain't going to do nothing, okay? You are not going to play the harlot. You ain't going to be the whole no more, right? I know you used to run the streets and having somebody that didn't care what time you came home. That's over, okay? And you're not going to even look at anybody else. All of that is over, okay? Being allowed to flirt, nope, all of that is over. You ain't doing nothing. So the Most High also gives us verse number 4, okay? So then images were then used as a part of this. But now, as we take a look at this, we understand that there's a deeper level. There's a deeper level to this because like the word here for teraphim, okay? Let me give you. Let's even do this. You're going to see that this is a very familiar passage as well. Genesis 31 and 19. Notice what it reads here. Remember this? Okay. Verse number 17. Then Yaakov, excuse me. Then Yaakov rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Yitzhak his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen what? Rachel had stolen the images, right? She had stolen the images. Now, if I click on this word, you're going to know that this word is very familiar, because guess what? It is the word teraphim that we just read in Hosea 3 and 4. So this word teraphim, as you see here, is something that is involved in divination. Basically, it's an idol, right? Something that may be shaped like a man. Ooh, do you see that? Something that in size and shape is like a man. So a man can be an idol, right? Did you catch that? A man can be an idol. Well, if we were to continue this, we see something very interesting, in that this word teraphim is also the word that's used. It's also the word that is used in Hosea 3 and 4, right? And so with that being the case, we see here that the Most High is indicating to us, once again, it says, be careful, be careful, be careful. You need to know there's nothing new under the sun. And guess what? Even though there's nothing new under the sun, people have made images, Okay? People have made images their idols. Now, why is that important? Why is that important to know? Okay? It's important to know because of what is written in Genesis 9 and verse number 6. I want you to take a look at this. We learned something about images from Genesis 9 and 6. And for the sake of context, I'm going to read, right? I'm going to read verse number 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood, okay, and surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man. At the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim made he man. What that says in a nutshell is that the reason why murder is wrong and the reason why murder is outlawed is because it is a direct violation against the image of the Most High, which is mankind. Okay? That is why it is written in the Sixth Commandment, you shall not commit murder. Okay? You shall not commit murder. Right? And it does not say you shall not kill, because if you notice in this passage of scripture here, it says that whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. In other words, hey, if you kill someone, then of course the judgment is for you to be killed, and that is capital punishment. Let me just let that rest right there. But the reason why murder is outlawed is because it is a direct violation against the image of the Most High. And this is why the wicked culture of our day is so bent on being entertained by murdering and doing violence to that image of the Most High. When they do something to an individual, they are committing a crime against the image of the Most High, which is mankind. And images are so important that the Most High wanted the spirit world to understand that man, who's, the word male, like we say M-A-L-E, male, like a female and a male, well, in the Hebrew is zakar, which means basically remember. Okay? Remember the Most High. Remember the Most High. We are a calling card of the Most High, right? Mankind is a calling card of the Most High. Well, with that being the case, we have to understand that we are the image of the Most High, and so therefore murder is outlawed because images are important. Well, tie all this together. I will tie all this together in the next couple of minutes, and I'll give you an understanding. An understanding that simply says, hey, this is what you need to understand, okay? And it all comes together, even in this particular passage. I've gone here before, but we're going to use this to tie it up once again. Exodus 32. Exodus 32, right? We read it to you before, we'll read it again. But basically, long story short, Moshe was with the Most High on the mountain, and guess what? Aaron, right, was coerced by the people to make them Elohim, right? Which is something that they said that they weren't going to do, but lo and behold, here they are. So they break off the golden earrings, right, and brought them unto Aharon. Okay? And so they made a golden calf. And he said, these be thy Elohim, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Mitzrayim, of Egypt. So you have to understand what's going on here. They were not trying to worship a completely different God. They were just substituting an image for Elohim, an image for Yahweh. This is what they were doing. They were substituting an image for the Most High. Well, how do you know that? Let's keep reading. Let's take a look. Notice what it reads here. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it talking about the molten calf. And Aharon made a proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast unto who? Unto Yahweh. This is, for those of you that doubt, this is the famed tetragrammaton, right? From where some get the pronunciation of Yahuwah or Yahweh. I use the more ancient pronunciation and I say Yahweh. The Masoretes purposely put false nikud in the tetragrammaton so that the name of the Most High would be mispronounced rather than taking it in vain. They didn't want people to take it in vain, right? Well, let's just go ahead and look at this and notice what it reads. He says, tomorrow is a feast unto Yahweh. So they superimposed the image of the calf, okay? They superimposed the image of the calf and said that we're going to call that our Elohim. We're going to call that by the same name. We're going to call it, the molten calf, the same name as we call our Most High, and the Most High did not like it. See, this is why I'm telling you, the Most High does not want anyone or anything to stand in his place. He wants to be called. He wants his name to be recognized. He does not want, nor does he allow another. He says, I will not share my glory with another. I will not give my glory to another. And he doesn't want anyone to represent him. He's saying, I can stand by myself. I don't need you to conjure up and to create a son through the Council of Nicaea and the Council of Chalcedon and the Council of Trent. I don't need you to conjure up some other son. I don't care if it is by popular belief, if it is by social proof. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I do not want you to put anything next to me, anything instead of me, okay? Anything as a go-between, even as a mediator. No, I don't want anything to stand in front of me and in between you. No, there is nothing that's going to be in my stead. Absolutely nothing that's going to be in my stead, okay? That being the case, if you notice what we read before, let's now tie this together. Okay, remember when we brought in this point? Remember when we brought this point in here? That whoever shed man's blood, his blood's going to be shed. Why? Because man is the image of the Most High, meaning that an image can also be a man. Well, now let's go back and let's look at this, right? And now let's see that instead of a molten calf, you can have a man. And people have said, I'm going to bow my knee to JC. I'm going to bow my knee, and I'm going to worship the Most High through his make-believe son that the Roman Catholic Church and that the Hellenized Jews created. I'm going to go ahead and guess what? The Most High is going to be pleased with that. He's going to be pleased. No, he's not going to be pleased. He's demonstrated that he will not be pleased with anything like that. He's showing you right here in these passages of scripture that he does not allow, he does not condone, he does not like when you say that someone else is here instead of him, okay? And basically what happens with JC, what happens with Yeshua ben Yosef, is it's a substitution. Just like you see in Exodus the 32nd chapter, it's nothing but a substitution where you are substituting the Most High for this other hippie on a stick. You're substituting the Most High for someone and something else, something that's created. However, ideologically, it's created in the mind of man, and the Most High does not like it. Give me a second, and then I'm going to see what we have for questions and comments in the chat room.
Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video.
increasing numbers of Hebrew Israelites all over the world, from Asia to Africa, from Mexico to Germany. There are Hebrew Israelites that are coming together as a nation and as a family, and you are needed. You are needed to take your place as the educator of your families, your sons, your daughters. So we want you to enroll in Navi Beit University so that you can take your place in the kingdom. Now is the time to prepare to create Hebraically centered scholarly materials to educate others, to teach your family, to teach your sons, your daughters, to teach the young, to teach the old, and to bring them into the knowledge of the Most High. The Most High is gathering us together as He has promised. So enroll in Navi Beit University, connect with the administrator and the registrars, and enroll today for just $35 for a bachelor's per month, or $45 for a master's, or even enroll in the doctorate's program. You can get a degree with a Hebraic focus at Navi Beit University. Hebraic education, undergraduate, graduate, and specialty courses. All right, we are back, and let me do this. I'm going to tiptoe right over here to the chat room, and let's see if we have any comments or questions. Jacqueline E. Bugs is in the house, as well as Breezy's Girl is in the house. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Breezy's Girl, good to see you. Good to see you. Yep, it's good to see every one of you. All right, let's, EJ Love is in the house. Yes. I'm so glad that EJ Love is in the house. Definitely. And, I have an announcement. The announcement is that in the near future, there's going to be an announcement. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that, right? Let me do this. Let me look at, and by the way, I'm trying to see if there's anything that is addressed to me. I'm scrolling very quickly, and I may miss something, so if there is something addressed to me, then please, by all means, let me know. Let me see it. And, yeah, I'll answer the question. And, of course, the phone line is open. Okay, here's a question from my brother George Evans. What type of malach is the Ophanim? Okay, is Ezekiel 1, Ezekiel 10 and 12, and Daniel 7 and 9 discussing them? Okay, so Daniel does not discuss the Ophanim. The Ophan in Hebrew means wheel. Okay, Ezekiel said, I saw the wheel turning in the middle of a wheel. Okay, this is kind of like when the angels were together, and they were maneuvering about, but together, so to speak. Kind of like it reads about the seraphim that they have 6 wings, right? With 2 they cover their face, with 2 they cover their feet, and with 2 they fly. Because they remain in the presence of the Most High, and basically the glory of the Most High must be shielded, because not everyone is worthy of it, not everyone can receive it, and of course it has destructive properties, if you will, in the presence of wickedness and so forth and so on. So in taking a look here, the Ophanim are angels that look like wheels. I know how that sounds, right? But think about it for a second. There are also angels that have, basically they have 4 faces, all right? uh, the cherubim. You have the cherubim, you have the ophanim, and you have the other classes of angels from which you get the seven archangels: Mikael, Phanuel, Rajuel, Uriel, and you get all Gabriel, Mikael. You get all of these archangels who are over who are over different classes of angels, right? So then, taking a look here, the Ophanim are they are basically angels that also deal with the presence of the Most High, right? Because they are led by the Spirit of the Most High. Okay, and so and so Daniel does not discuss them. Daniel discusses the class of angels that are humanoid, if you will. They are like a man. Okay, and what Daniel sees is he even sees one like unto a son of man. In other words, this was someone that was styled as a human being, but that was not a human being. Now, in this particular instance, it's not a malak. It's not an angel either. But it's actually, once again, representation of Israel itself. You can go ahead and look at it, and it'll bear it out itself. And it's right there in Daniel 7. But now Ezekiel 1 has the more extravagant and the most detailed depictions of the Malakim that we know in Scripture. Okay, the only other more I want to say the only other more descriptive detail about angels and about the spiritual realm is that we find in the apocryphal book of Enoch, but of course we cannot substantiate it because it is the Apocrypha, right? Let's just move on from that. Hopefully that helps you, my brother. In fact, let me do this because you're asking if the Ophanim are discussed in Daniel 7 as well. Let me go to Daniel 7 and 9, the verse that you mentioned, and let's just, if you give me just a second here, let's just go ahead and go to Daniel 7 and 9. Okay, Daniel 7 and 9. Okay, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. And I've always marveled at this Ancient of Days because I wondered, back when I was a pastor and preacher, we used to say that the Most High was outside of time. But this epithet of Ancient of Days depicts that he has the multiplicity of days rather than the absence of time itself, which is an interesting development. But it says here that the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Okay, so now I understand where you're going with this because, again, the Ophanim are angels that look like wheels, and there is you could say that these are the Ophanim in the presence of the Most High. Okay, but my only thing is, like, when we take a look at this in the Hebrew, I'm sorry, let me go here, so you can see the scriptures real quick. When we look at this in the Hebrew, okay, let me, if my cursor's gonna act right, let me, okay. So as we take a look here, all right, we see that he is Galgalohi Nur Dalak. Okay. Daniel, which is partly written in Aramaic and Hebrew, as of yet, right now, I don't see where the Ophanim are mentioned or even alluded to in the Hebrew. Okay. I don't see where the Ophanim are even mentioned. Okay, because here it mentions his wheels, and this is a reference. This is a reference to what you might think are the Ophanim, but here's what I question. Here's what I question. I question that his I mean, I don't see the wheels here. I don't see the wheels here. I don't see the Ophanim. And it leads me to believe that we're talking about something that is slightly different. So I don't see the Ophanim there, but I do understand what you're saying, and I see why you would say, yeah, this seems like it would be the Ophanim. Okay, I do understand that. I do understand that. It's just that I would need more proof from the Hebrew text, and I'm not saying it. I just got through scouring through this, and I did not see it. Okay. I did not see it. Okay. So let's just move forward, and maybe I can look into that a little bit more, right? Maybe I can look into that a little bit more, and see if there is some sort of reference to the Ophanim. But that is a good observation on your point. Really is a good observation. Okay, my sister Jacqueline E. Bugs asks, how are our brains so in sync? Regarding, I guess I'm asking regarding what? Okay, and I'm also looking. Some of your comments are funny, by the way, family. I'm looking at all your comments here. Okay. Let me continue. Okay, hold on here. See, I don't know. Some of these are just questions, and I don't know if they're addressed to me. So let me take a look. I don't see. I'm not seeing where any more questions are directed to me. So. That means then that looks like it's time to maybe let you all get about your evening. I appreciate Soprano Jesse, I think that's a question for me. She says, "Are you okay, brother? You seem kind of bummed, or are you feeling under the weather?" I'm good. My son is with me here in the studio, and he fell asleep. So, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be considerate. CK Demone King asks, I'm just curious, how do angels get to our realm? Do they teleport, or is there an actual way for them to get here? Interesting, very interesting question, my brother. Very interesting question. Let me see if there's anything else addressed to me. Okay, so taking a look then at your question, I do not read where angels need a portal. They seem to have somewhat of a free reign, if you will, especially over the areas of their charge. Okay, those that have charge, right? They are giving an area. In fact, the prosecuting attorney of the Most High the adversarial one, and called the adversary. He has the earth, and basically in Job 1:6, and also 2:1, he walks up and down in it. Okay, he walks up and down in it, and he goes to and fro. Now, I'm not going to listen. Notice what that says. He walks up and down and to and fro. Someone pointed out to me that that definitely is a description of the cross. But nonetheless, they have their territories where they are. If you notice you see, okay, let me back up and let me just mention this. The Malachim, the angels of the Most High, they are the spiritual creations of the Most High. But guess what? They are just like everything else that the Most High has created. You have some that take out the garbage and that deal with garbage and that deal with the refuge. And you have some that deal with the pleasant things and the good things and the holy things and so forth and so on. It's the same way with Malachim. You have those that we are not to mess with, just like we're not to eat pork, just like we're not to eat the unclean things. Spiritually, we're not supposed to connect with unclean Malachim who are designed to deal with the trash, the spiritual trash, and basically to deal with that, right? That's what they do. That's what they're here for. That's part of their purpose. And so we're not to mess with them. We're not to be a part of them, right? And so they have nothing to do with us. We have nothing to do with them per se, right? So in looking at the Malachim, they have territories. The Malachim who are basically have garbage duty. They wander in dry places. Okay, they wander in desert and dry places, right? And that's why it's special, because the Most High says that He found Abraham. He found him wandering. Okay, basically in a place where he shouldn't be. One of a lively, energetic spirit, one that the Most High could use. He says he found him in a desert place, right? And so he basically, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's like, what are you doing here? It's like finding a stack of $100 bills in a garbage bin. It's like, this is for garbage, not for you, right? And so, of course, from that moment forward, the Most High looked upon Abraham, and then the rest is history. So they don't need to teleport. And see, you bring up a very good question, and I'm going to mention this, but then I'm going to let it go real quick. As quickly as I mention it, I'm going to let it go. And that is that, listen, I've always said this, and boy, here we go. I'm about to open up this can of worms. Except for one point, the extraterrestrial motif can be superimposed over the Old Testament narrative, except for one point. If, there's people that say that, well, when it says, let us make man, you see, God was talking to the aliens. Or basically, saying that the angels are aliens, okay, or extraterrestrial beings. Well, now, the problem with that is if you say that extraterrestrials made man, then you have to ask yourself, then who made the extraterrestrials? And you're back to square one. You're back to the same problem, the same issue that you were with humanity itself. So, they don't need to teleport. Okay, they have abilities. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, let me see. Excuse me, my voice is my throat is getting a little dry. All right. Okay. You know what? I think I've answered all the questions. I've been trying to be easy. I'm trying to take it easy, but you know what? I'm getting kind of like a little loud, little more descriptive here. But hey, I want to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I want to say peace and blessings to you. Thank you for being here. And I want to say that this is it's good. I'm so glad that you all are here. You all are my family. You know that I love you. You know that I love you. And let me give you the takeaway. Okay, let me give you the takeaway, and then I'm going to let you all get back to your evening, get back to your night. Please understand that it is not enough that we put away the worship of dolls and the worship of statues and so forth and so on. Of course, we are to put them away. Of course, we are not to worship them. We're not to bow our knees to them. But also, we have to be very careful that we do not bow down to the idea. In other words, an idol that is not made of stone, it's not made of wood, it's not made of gold, but it's made of an idea. It's made of a doctrine. It's made of a belief. It's made of faith. Okay? And it's put in dogma and doctrine within Christianity that simply evolves and orbits around the man Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans. This idea of a God made flesh began to be ever more popular in the first century. It was popular even in the preceding decades before that. It got ever popular, and so it became something that the pagans could latch on to, because it was just like their Hercules. It was just like their stories of Zeus bringing about children, half man, half God children. It was just like their stories, and so they caught on to it, and through it they used it. They used it and used its leverage to be able to change and transform Judaism and give you Judaism light, which is Christianity. Rabbinical Judaism also helped. Rabbinical Judaism was actually perverted before Christianity was invented, because you had to have a transition, if you will, a foundational transition in order to put something called Christianity on. This was in the works for a very long time. It began when, as it is written in 1 Maccabees 3:48, when they desired to put their images within our Torah. It began even back then. It began in Alexandria, Egypt as well, where even Philo of Alexandria wanted to Hellenize the Torah and show the world that we could be just as philosophical and just as, allegorical as anyone else. And so we have what we have. Christianity is the bastard love child of rabbinical Judaism and Hellenism. And with that being the case, the idea excuse me, my throat is really dry. You know how you get that dry spot and it tickles? So, long story short, we must be wary of those idols. Oh my, still dry. Oh, much better. Woo! Sorry about that. So long story short, we have to be careful of not just the idols made by hands of gold and silver, but also made in the form of ideas. Do not allow yourself to bow your knee to an idol and to believe by faith, something that the Most High does not sanction. Soprano, excuse me. Soprano Jesse says facts. That's what my research has led me to. The NT was curated by rabbinical Judaism, Hellenizers somehow. Yeah, oh, definitely was. It definitely was. And there were so many sellouts and so many turncoats, even in the Hasmonean dynasty. You had individuals that, while on one hand they were fighting Rome, but they weren't fighting Hellenization wholesale, because you had people within the Hasmonean dynasty that were Hellenists. They spoke Greek. You had priests in the temple that were leaving the temple, getting butt naked, going into the gymnasium, going into the public baths. I mean, it's ridiculous. But nonetheless, we always loved other people more than we loved ourselves, and so we went after other cultures, right? We went after other cultures, and we just loved it, right? We just loved it. My sister asked, did you get a brief view of the Book of Clarence? I did not get a chance to watch it as of yet. I am going to watch the Book of Clarence. I am going to watch it, and I got a feeling I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm also looking for the subtleties, right? We're looking for the subtleties in that. So, hey, I am definitely looking forward. Okay? Definitely looking forward to that. So, my brothers and my sisters, hey, I think this is it. I don't want to belabor, but I just want to simply say, hey, once again, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. You are my family. I really do appreciate the fact that you've given me your time. You have given unto me your attention. Two things that are priceless in my book. I appreciate you for it. And I want to say that, Yah willing, we will be back for Shabbat morning coffee. And I think we're going to have a very interesting discussion for this Shabbat morning coffee. So, thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to my day one, my brother Bergen Paris, who is the chief moderator as well. Thanks to my brother George Evans. Thank you to my sister Soprano Jessie. Thank you to my sister Jacqueline E. Buggs, to George Evans, I mentioned again, and to C.K. Damone King. Peace and blessings to you, my brother King. As well to, did I miss anyone? I think I said George Evans. Breezy's girl. Yep. Hey, Breezy's girl. Very glad that you were here. EJ Love, very glad that you were here. And hey, I think at this particular point I've mentioned everyone. And please feel free to use the email address and email me if you have any questions or any comments. And I want to thank you all. Listen, I love you all. I really do. And you guys, just being able to teach, just being able to come on here and share with you, even though many times you guys don't call in, it is still a blessing. It is still a privilege. And just, hey, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're in the chat room. And I'm glad that you mix it up with me. Peace and blessings to you. Hey, I can't wait till the next time that we hop on again together. So, and by the way, I am going to be doing more TikToks, right? I'm going to be doing more TikToks and Instagrams. And, we're going to step it up a notch or two, right? We're going to step it up a notch or two. So, peace and blessings to you. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening. I love you all. Definitely love you all. And I just want to say, may the Most High bless you this week. Remember, we are not cursed anymore. We are the head and not the tail. We are blessed coming in and blessed going out. I bless you, and I pray that the Most High smile upon you richly and deeply, and that his Malachim protect you every step of your way. Bashem Yah, in the name of the Most High. Aman and Aman. Well, peace and blessings to you, and hey, we will definitely, Yah willing, we'll see you for Shabbat morning coffee.